Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Singh and today I am going to teach about the compressibility of soil and consolidation. And here is my details. After watching this video, if you have any doubt, you can call on this number and you can also write an email on saurabh.singh@myyamiya.com. Let's come on our learning objective and learning outcome. By this video lecture, you will understand about the many concepts of geotechnical engineering and basically you will understand what is the consolidation and what is the compressibility and what are the importance of the consolidation and compressibility and where we apply these things in the geotechnical engineering. And in this learning outcome, you will know where you will gain the knowledge and experience of implementing the geotechnical engineering on engineering concept which are applied in field of geotechnical engineering. And students will deserve knowledge of geotechnical engineering practice applied to real life problem for designing of a structure. And student will also know what are the uses of the compressibility and compaction in the field of geotechnical engineering. So let's start our lecture here. First, we will see the compressibility. What is the compressibility? Here you can see when the stress is increased on soil caused by the construction of foundation or other land, and it is solved by the delta sigma and it causes compression of soil. The compression of soil layer leads to soil settlement and that is caused by deformation of soil particle, relocation of soil particle and expulsion of the water and air from the voids. Means what is the meaning of compressibility generally? In compressibility, we have to increase the stress on the soil so that soil can be in the form of hardened state. That's why we need to do compressibility of the soil. Now this is the figure. As you can see here, these are the clay particle and there is pore space. If you will do the compaction, what will happen? You can see on this image number A. You can see if you will do the compress, what will happen? Pore space will be finished and your soil will be compacted, means your density of your soil will be increased. Now see the second image. This is the image of organic 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 soil, you can say, and there is also pores. When you will do the compressibility, your these things will be filled by the crystalline. As you can see here, these are the particles, pore space, and these are the filling out by the compression. And it is also called particle intergrowth. And this is called formation of a matrix. So that is the meaning of compressibility. And there is also one more thing is cementation. What is the meaning of cementation? In pores, something will be filled and compressed, and it will called cementation of your soil. Now come again on compressibility of soil. The result, total soil settlement, is sourced by the ST under loading may be divided into three main categories. It is divided into three main categories. First one is which is represented by the immediate elastic settlement, which we represent by the SE. As you can see here, it is represented by SE. And what is this? As you can see, caused by the elastic deformation of the dry, wet or standard soil particle without any changes in the moisture content. Second one is primary consolidation settlement. It is sourced by the SC and it is caused as a result of volume change in saturated cohesive soil due to the explosion of the water within void space. C point is also here, secondary consolidation settlement, and it is represented by the SESS and it is caused as a result of plastic deformation of soil particle. It is an addition form of the compression that occur at the constant effective stress. And these was the types of you can say these are the types of settlements how we do in the consolidation, how we do in the compressibility. First one was immediate, and second one was primary, and last one was secondary. Now we will see the effect of soil type and role of effective stress and role of stress strip. As you can see here, this is your load and this is your length of your sample. As you can see, porous wall allow the air water to escape. Suppose this is your porous wall, and when you will apply load on it, what will happen? Air voids and water voids will come out from this porous wall, and this will give this types of graph, and this is your L limit and length, which is shows in the minute, and this is your time. As you can see here, if time will increase, what will happen? If you will see here, then what will happen? It will give the maximum density for the small load, and this is for the clay, and this is for the same type of same soil type with the different load. This graph is showing the same soil type with different load, and this is same load different soil type. Means here we are using different soil, here we are using different load. Now as you can see, it can be noted that the problem in soil engineering related to volume change of soil have two questions that need answering. How much is going magnitude? How much is going magnitude to be magnitude of volume changes? Okay. Second question will came in your mind. How long it will take for this change to manifest? Now we will see how to do estimation of magnitude of settlement. Means how you will find the magnitude of settlement, means how much load you have to apply on this soil. We will see here in this video frame. Now as you can see, this is about the immediate elastic settlement. It is settlement that occurs directly after the application of load without any change in the moisture content of soil. The value of SC depends on flexibility of foundation, types of soil foundation based on. When we calculate the stress increase on soil, the following assumptions were assumed. The load is applied at the ground surface. The load area is flexible. The soil is homogeneous, elastic, isotropic, and expand to the infinite depth. Means we have to do some assumption before doing the compressibility of the soil. First one will be like load we can only apply on the ground surface. We cannot do everywhere. We have to do it on the ground surface, and the load area is flexible. We think the where we are doing the compressibility, that area is in the flexible mode. Means you can do the compress, you can do the compress of your soil sample or your soil type by the applying the some load. And here we think our soil is homogeneous, elastic, and isotropic, and expand to infinite depth. Means when we will apply the load, it will work like a elastic and isotropic material. Now we will see the immediate elastic settlement of a clay soil. Constant modulus of elasticity when depth. Lateral confinement pressure at the edge exists, as you can see here in this image, and this figure is showing immediate settlement profile of the contact pressure in clay and flexible foundation and rigid foundation. It is showing in the first one is showing for the flexible foundation. As you can see here, when load will apply, it will work like this. In the rigid foundation, what will happen? It will work like this. Settlement profile will be like this, and here it will be like this. And here, as you can see, contact pressure distribution, this will be like this. This will be in this same direction or same line, and it will be not in the same direction. It will be parabolic. Okay. And if it was for the clay soil, and constant modulus of elasticity with depth, we will get lateral confinement confinement pressure at the edge of the exit, as you can see here. Sandy soil, now we will see the sandy soil. You can see here, this is for the settlement profile. This is a graph for the settlement profile, and this is your contact pressure. And this is for your rigid, and that one is for your flexible. That is the settlement profile of the clay soil and sandy soil. Now we will calculate the SE. Calculation of SE driven using the principal theory of elasticity, as you can see here. SE is equals to delta sigma B 1 minus micron S mu S square upon E upon LP. What is SE? As we know, SE is immediate settlement, which is here, and delta sigma is net pressure applied on the load, or net pressure applied on your soil surface, or you can also call it ground surface. This is the width of the foundation, which is equal to diameter of circular foundation. Mu is equals to Poisson ratio of the soil. ES is equals to modulus of elasticity of soil. LP is non-dimensional influence factor. Where LP, how we will find the LP? By this formula, we can easily find the LP. 1 by pi bracket M1 iron upon 1 plus root M1 square plus 1 upon M1 plus M1 plus root square upon root square M1 square plus 1. And where M1 is equals to length of the foundation divided by the width of the foundation. If you want to find the M1, you can easily do this by the dividing the width of the foundation to the depth of the length of the foundation. Now this is the table which gives the influence factor of the foundation. As you saw in the previous slide, that is your shape, circular or rectangular, and that is your M1, and that is your center, corner, and digit. This is for the flexible pavement or flexible foundation. Now this table is showing the representative value of modulus of elasticity of soil. If soil type will be soft clay, it will be varies between 1800 to 3500, and if hardened will be there, it will be 6000 to 14,000. If loose sand will be there, it will be equal to approx 10,000 to 28,000. If it will be dense soil, it will be approx 35,000 to 70,000. And if you will see the Poisson ratio of this soil, these things you will get by this table, and you can putting the value of these things, you can easily find the value, and you can easily find the answer by solving that equation. Mu S is given here, Poisson ratio. Loose sand will be between 0.2 to 0.04. Medium sand will be Poisson ratio of medium sand will be 0.25 to 0.4, and the Poisson ratio of dense sand will be equal to 0.3 to 0.45, and silty sand will be 0.2 to 0.4. Soft clay will be 0.15 to 0.25. And medium clay, last we will see the Poisson ratio of medium clay, which is approx 0.2 to 0.5. Now we will see the one example of the finding the settlement of finding the immediate settlement, estimation of immediate settlement. Here in question it is given, estimate the immediate settlement of a column footing 1.5 meter in diameter that is constructed on the unsaturated clay layer. Given that this total load carried by the column footing is 150 kilonewton, is given here. Total load, it is your total load 150 kilonewton. ES is also given here, which is equal to 7000 kilonewton per meter square. And there is also Poisson ratio of given, that's why, which is equal to 0.25, and assume the footing to be rigid. And if it will not given here what kind of footing it is, then you can assume by yourself. And now we will see the solution, how you will solve this question. Here you can see we have this formula S is equals to delta sigma B minus 1 minus mu S square upon ES IP. Now what we have to do, we have to put the value on it. What we are doing, we are putting the value here 150 upon pi by 4. First we have to find the sigma, delta sigma. Here we will find it, it will become 84.9 kilometer per meter square. From this, from the table number 10.1, which we saw in previous slide, which is equal to IP is equal to 0.79. So we will put value here. As you can see, when you will put value, you will get 13.5 mm. Means here a immediate settlement of your soil will be 13.5 by the rigid footing. If the load of footing column will be 150 and elasticity modulus of elasticity 7000. If Poisson ratio will be 0.25, it will be equal to 13.5. This is a very important question. This type of question have been asked in the GATE exams. So you need to remember only few things here. You need to remember only formula. If you know the formula of this equation, of these things, you can easily solve this question. Note there are some note are given which you need to remember always. The calculation are based on the theory of elasticity for the soil, and that is the modulus of elasticity. ES is constant with the soil depth. It is also considered that the foundation rests on the ground surface, while it is in reality the foundation is embedded at the certain depth, which we call depth. Using the previous relationship in estimation SC, soil settlement result in a conservative value for the settlement. There are other attempts to make these factors into consideration, such as Mayen and Paulus, which was invented in 1999. Now this image will show you how you will do these things and how it will act here. As you can see, IG is the influence factor for the variation of ES with depth is equal to F is equal to E naught, K and B, E and H. Here it is given by this system. You can easily find the total estimation of total settlement of your soil. Now we will see the consolidation settlement. What is the consolidation settlement? Compaction and consolidation. First, you have to understand what is the difference between compaction and consolidation. Here you can see it is the almost instantaneous phenomena, and it is time dependent phenomena, and in this soil is always unsaturated. Here soil is completely saturated. And third difference is densification is due to the reduction of volume of air and voids at the given water content. Here, volume reduction is due to the explosion of the pore water from the voids. Means here we are increasing the density of our soil by the explosion of the pore water, and here we are reducing the air voids. And fourth difference is specified compaction techniques are used in this process. And here in consolidation occurs an account of the load placed on the soil. So this is the difference between compaction and consolidation. And in many exams, these types of question has been asked. What are the difference between consolidation and compaction? And these are the main you can say these are the main points by which you can do the comparison, or you can differentiate between compaction and consolidation. That's why you need to remember these difference between the compaction and consolidation. Now here we will see by the graph and by the table here, and as you can see, first A image is showing before compaction and B image is showing this is for the compaction, and AB, and this is for the consolidation. Here we will see solid water and air is there, and after compaction what will happen? Air voids will be removed. Here as you can see, we are reducing the air voids in this soil sample. Here you can see this is your after compaction. Now if you will see in the consolidation what we are doing, this is your solid and this is your water. Here we are not going to remove the air voids. Here we are going to remove the water voids. You can say it. If you will see the water voids here, percentage of water voids, it is less in this graph. It is less than a graph. So here you can see we are removing the water voids by doing the consolidation. So this is the main difference between compaction and consolidation. In compaction, we have to remove the air voids, and in consolidation, we have to remove water voids. Now we will see the consolidation settlement, how we perform this test and what is the method of doing consolidation settlement. Here you can see this is your graph and this is your valve closed, and that is your one type of container where you have to put your soil here and it will apply the load on the soil, and that is your inlet, you can say. And when we will put the pressure on it, what will happen? Air will come through this funnel and it will reduce your water voids here. You can see if you will in this here we will apply the pressure, and when we will open this water will goes out, and here you can see P is equals to PS plus PW, means pressure of soil or solid we can call. PW is pressure of water. PS is equals to 0 and PW will become the P, and your this thing will become P upon A. You can always say PS is always greater than 0 and PW is always less than P. So here P will be written as PS is equals to P and PW will be 0 here. Now this is the image where we do the consolidation, and this is your groundwater level, and this is your clay, and this is your depth, and this is your site. If you will see the area and height of clay will be more here. Now this is also a diagram of the total stress, which is solved by sigma s. You can see here this is the air at the time at G0, and here you can see the pore water pressure increase from here to here. Now we will see the typical plot of E versus log sigma, and in this graph you will understand what is the difference between E versus log sigma. Now we will see some terms which we need to know. The past geological and stress history has brought this soil to its present condition. The shape of the reloading curve as well as the geological information about the soil at the site will help to determine whether the soil normally consolidated or over consolidated. If soil is normally consolidated or over reloading curve, it will continue the whirling compression line from its present condition, and it will follow the straight line which we called it log sigma plot. The reloading curve for the over consolidation clay will have two portion, one commencing from the present condition and following the flatter path until it reaches on the virgin compression line at the pre-consolidation pressure, followed by the steeper line corresponding to give the virgin compression curve. Now this is the graph which you can see here. This is void ratio and this is log sigma, and this is for the normal consolidation clay, and this is for the over consolidated clay. And these graphs are very important, which you need to remember. Now we will see the over consolidation ratio and optimum OCR. Here OCR is equal to PC dash upon P0, and it will call PC is equal to previous maximum effective stress and present effective stress. For normally consolidated clay, the present effective stress is also known. Also, the previous, so OCR will be equal to 0. For heavy consolidated clay, OCR may be 4 or more. Therefore, this types of file has been subjected to much greater stress in the past compared in the present condition. Now this is the graph which we plot by the using of Casagrande apparatus, and it was first, this graph was first plotted by the Casagrande in 1936. And this is your compression index. As you can see here, Cc is equals to E1 minus E2 log P2 minus log P1. It will become minus E1 minus E2 upon log P2 minus P1. As you can see here in this graph, P1 is here, P2 is here, ES is here, E naught is here. Means this side is showing the void ratio and this side is showing the pressure. And last you will in the last you will get the compression coefficient, which we represent by the AB, and AB is equals to will be minus dE upon dP, which is equal to C, capital C upon C, P upon P. P is showing the pressure. Now we will see the settlement with the primary consolidation. For NC clay, we will see here sigma C dash sigma C will be less than to sigma naught dash and delta naught AB. And these are the, first you need to know what is the meaning of this symbol. First you will see average effective vertical stress before the construction. Delta sigma AB means average increase in the effective vertical stress, and sigma C is equals to effective pre-consolidation pressure, and E naught is equals to initial void ratio of the clay layer, and sigma CC is equals to compression index, and CS is equals to swelling index, and S is equals to thickness of the clay layer. Now we will see the past some points which is related to consolidation and compaction. As you can see here, the past geological and stress history has been brought on this file, and it is present in the condition. The shape of reloading curve as well as the geological information about the soil at the site will help you determine the whether the soil normally consolidated or over consolidated. If the soil is normally consolidated, the reloading curve will be continue on the virgin compression line from its present condition and will follow the straight line which is shown by the log sigma plot. The reloading curve from the over consolidation clay will have two portions, one commencing from its present condition and following the flatter path which is shown in the graph and reaches on the virgin compression line at the pre-consolidation followed in the staple line. So these points you need to remember. Now you will see this graph. Here you can see the settlement correction which is showing the 3D consolidation, and that is your settlement coefficient, and this is your over consolidated, normally consolidated soil is showing. This graph is very important, and you can get many data by the plotting this graph. Now this is the foundation analysis and design for the this book, and there is Fox depth correction. As you can see, the factor for the rectangular footing for L into width is given and depth is also given. Then what will be S consolidation, which is called S embedded, and SC means S surface. It will be equal to depth factor. And there is also rigidity factor which is given in IS 8009/1976. And here total settlement will be of the foundation. It will be equal to rigid foundation, and it will be equal to rigid foundation and total settlement of center of the flexible foundation. Now we will see this is the settlement due to the secondary consolidation, which is equal to SS is equal to C sigma SC and 1 upon EP log T2 upon T1, and C sigma is equal to alpha is equal to secondary compression index, which is represented by the here, and EP is equal to void ratio of the end of primary consolidation. SC is equal to thick of the layer. And this is showing the secondary consolidation settlement is the more important in the case of organic and highly compression in organic clay. So you need to remember it is in the secondary consolidation settlement, it is a case of organic. In case of organic, then high compressible organic clay will be more. And here are the examples which you need to know. These types of question will ask to you in your exams, and these types of question also came in the competition exam. So start our example number 10.4, which is a soil profile is shown in the figure 10.19. If a uniformly distributed load is acting and applied on the ground surface, what will be the settlement of the clay layer caused by the primary consolidation? Here we will see the clay is normally consolidated when A is given. The pre-consolidation pressure sigma C is equals to 190 kilonewton per meter square, and we have to use here take as CS is equals to 1 by 6 sigma CC. So you can see there is till the 2 meter, this is your sand, and there is dry density of sand is given 14 Newton per meter cube, and here stress is acting here, which is of 100 kilonewton per meter square, and this is your depth, which is equal to 4 meter, as you can see here. Now these types of question will came in your exams, and we will see the how we will find the result of that question, how we have to find this. The result of laboratory consolidation test on the clay sample are given below. If you will take the clay sample for doing the consolidation test, you have to do like this. First will be the pressure. On which pressure? What is the ratio of E? Means what is the void ratio? On 23, as you can see here, on 23, it is on 23.94. It is void ratio is 1.112, and here on 47 kilonewton per meter cubic pressure, it will become 1.105, and 95.76 it will become 1.080, and on the load of 191.52 it will become 0.985. On load of 383.04 it will become 0.850. And we can also draw an E-log P plot diagram by the using of this data. And here determine the pre-consolidation pressure we have to determine, and we have to also find the compression index by the C. So these are the examples of the which is related to consolidation and compaction. As you can see here, that is your sand, that is your groundwater table which is given here. It is shown by the H1, and it will be shown by the H2, and this is your clay void ratio, which is equal to 0. So in this lecture we have covered many things, and we also saw what kind of example can be asked to related to consolidation and compaction. One thing is very important here, which we saw the difference. If you will write your midterm exam, there this types of question may be asked to you. What is the difference between consolidation and compaction, and what is the meaning of fully compacted soil and saturated compacted soil? So you have to answer there. And what is the difference between partially compacted soil, fully compacted soil, and what is the dry density, and what is the we can also say it, what is the difference between dry density and bulk density. So if you will do all these things here, you can understand what is the basic of consolidation and compaction, and what you need to learn in the consolidation and compaction. So this was my suggestion. Now we will see the MCQ which is related to compaction and consolidation. And this MCQ's first question is, compaction is the process in which the change the volume due to. In this question it is asking what we do in the compaction. First, you can see here, remove the water. Second one is here, remove the air. Third one is here, remove the soil particle. And last one is the all of above. So we will see what will be our right answer here. Right answer will be B, because in, as we know, in compaction we need to remove the water, and in consolidation we need to remove the air, water voids. In compaction we need to remove the air voids. So right answer here will be A. And if you will read this sentence will complete uh, with this word. Compaction is the process in which change in the volume due to the air remove of air voids. So right answer will be B here. Now we will see in compaction soil mass is. It is asking in compaction what will be the effect in your soil mass. First we will see fully saturated. Second one is given partially saturated, fully dry, and last one is here fully dry and partially saturated. Let's see what will be your right answer. Right answer will be fully dry and partially saturated. This is the very important question, and this question may be asked in the government exam. So you need to remember what will be the answer and what will be the meaning of soil mass. Now we will come on the third question. Third question is during the compaction soil permeability is. In this question it is asking when you will do the compaction of your soil sample, what will happen? Permeability of that soil will increase or this will decrease. So you one things you have to remember. You have to remember permeability is the like flowing capacity of water through the soil. If your water will flow from soil sample, means the permeability of that soil is very good, and it is not good for the soil actually, not good for the density of soil. Means it is the pores by where water pass through the one side to another side. So as now you can understand what is the meaning of permeability. So you can answer this question during the compaction of soil permeability. It will increase or it will decrease, remaining unchanged, and none of the above. So we know when we do the soil compaction, what will happen? Volume of soil will be decreased. That when volume of soil will be decreased means here permeability will be also decreased. There will be no permeability. If you will do the very well compaction of your soil, there will be no permeability. So your right answer will be here. During the compaction of soil permeability is during the compaction of soil permeability decrease. It will decrease. Your right answer will be B. Now come on the next question. IS code for the light compaction is. Here IS 2720 part C is given, IS 2720 part 7 is given, IS 2720 part 8 is given, IS 2720 part 9 is given. Here right answer will be IS 2720. That will be your right answer. Come on the next question. IS code for the heavy compaction is. Here is given IS 2720. This will be not. IS 2720. This is also wrong answer. IS 2720 part 8. That will be your right answer. IS code 2720 part 8. This is code for the heavy compaction. Okay. Now we will see the next question. In light compaction, in large size mold, number of the layer is and number of the blows is. It is asking in lightweight compaction what will be the size of mold and what will be the number of layer and what will be the number of blows. This is a very important question and you need to know. Here right answer will be it will be in 3 layer. There will be 3 layer and number of blows will be 55 and A will be your right answer here. Come on the next question. In heavy compaction, the soil, in heavy compaction, the small size of mold, the number of layer is and number of blows. We have done this question, and okay, it is asking for the heavy compaction. It is not asking for the light compaction. So here right answer will be 5 into 25 means here number of layer will be here 3 and blows will be number of blows will be 25. So your right answer will be here C. Okay. This is also very important question, and you need to remember what will be the number of layer in the heavy compaction and what will be the number of blows here. Next question is the amount of water added in each stage during the compaction of a sandy soil is means how much of water you will add during the compaction in the sandy soil. So here we will add water 1 to 2%. Means the amount, your full sentence will become the amount of water added in each stage during the compaction for sandy soil is 1 to 2%. Here right answer will be A. Come on the next question. Factor affecting on compaction are. What will be the factor affecting on the compaction? You will see here water content, amount of compaction, types of soil, and all of the above. Here is asking which factor can affect the compaction of a soil. So as we know, water content can affect the compaction of soil. Amount of compaction can easily affect your soil. Types of soil will affect your soil. So right answer will be all of the above. D will be your right answer here. Okay. Now come on the last question. The effect of compaction on soil properties are. The effect of compaction on soil properties are soil structure, it will change, permeability, it will also decrease, shrinkage, it will also decrease. So here your right answer will be, again your right answer will be all of the above. Your right answer will be D here. So that was the MCQ, and one thing I would like to suggest here, these MCQ are very important, and this is taken by the GATE examination. And if you will solve this MCQ, it will help you a lot when you will sit for the GATE exam, and maybe after graduation you will also sit for the government exam. Then it can be help you. It can help you a lot if you are going for the private jobs. If you are suppose going for the L&T, if you are going for the SSC, then there you also need to know what is the work of the compaction and what is the work of the consolidation. That's why these MCQs are very. Now we will see the reference here, and here we taken something from the Advanced Geotechnical Engineering, which is written by the VNS Murthy, and this is your NPTEL link, and this will help you a lot. And one thing we will see here more. Today we have covered the consolidation and compaction, and these two are the very important topic in the geotechnical engineering, because when you will go for the field job, you will understand what is the importance of the consolidation and compaction, and by doing up these compaction and consolidation, you can increase the bearing capacity of soil. That's why this is very important lecture. And there is also MCQs which was related to consolidation and compaction. So you need to remember always what will be the answer of that MCQs and what is the basic principle behind it. You should also know about it, because when you know the basics of it, like in this video lecture, I started from the starting. What is the compaction and what is the difference between compaction and consolidation? So I started it from the basics. Now, if you have covered the basic, then you can easily solve these types of questions. So this was all about the today's video lecture. Thank you very much for watching my video.